Okay, good evening from here, or good day from everywhere you are joining us. Please confirm if you can hear me by writing yes on the chat, whether here on YouTube, on Zoom or on YouTube. It's Thanks for those that join us. Thanks so much, Victor. So let's do our same introduction. Please just write yes if you can hear me. I want to be sure that we're together. And we're also live on YouTube. So in case you have any issue here, uh, you can join us on YouTube as well if you have issue with Zoom. So we are good to go. We're good to go. So we don't waste. Yeah, thanks so much, Kenny, Candy Bedo. Let's get it coming. Let's get it coming. We just kick off right away. We are so this is the program we are ready for. The agenda for today. Our wonderful guest facilitator is right in the house, and it's a privilege to have such a big fish in our midst. We are very privileged to have him. Okay, so let's keep our introduction covered. Now, in introduction, I will just go to, yeah, so we're still in same introduction. So I will soon jump on to the next 1, 2 minutes. I'll jump on to my welcome remarks, and then we read the profile of our guest facilitator for today. And then we drink into his weight of experience. We have Q&A, and then we are good to go. So let's keep it coming. And like our custom do as he presents, let's keep making our comments to be sure that we are together. Okay. All right. So I want to now quickly go on to take my welcome remark, and then we go on to profile of facilitator, and then the presentation will go on. This video is usually one of my most preferred day because we the journey was started since on the 24th of May. It's ending today, and thanks for those who already subscribed to our premium membership. So we have continued the mentorship process. Okay, that said, I'm going now to go to my welcome remark. Thank you so much. And so by way of welcoming us, I remain your host. My name is Evans Saboyan. I'm a professor of economics at Government University of Nigeria, and also the privileged founding chair of DIaDeRC, shortening for the Pecos Institutions and Development Research Center, registered in Nigeria. So we've been doing this as a series. This is seventh edition. We started since 2023, and it's been getting better by the day. And so, having said that, we started with this journey with episode 1 on the 24th of May. This was what we did. And in case you missed it out, please, the recorded session is live on YouTube. So go to our YouTube channel and go through it. It focused essentially on the mentorship and partnership. So it's a thing, and you need to check it out and be part of it. So for this episode, we're done introductions. So those of us joining us currently. So let's get introduce ourselves by putting down our names, current affiliation, and why we joined ASMN 7.0. Okay, this was what we have covered so far, and we managed to stream on YouTube. So all these past episodes on YouTube. Today is the final day. So we started after the episode 1 we did on the 24th. This one we went through. Episode 2 is very, very also interesting, how to maintain work-life balance in the digital world, and it's also had the 2 wonderful presentations. So please check it out on YouTube. So right there on our YouTube channel, if you go to our DIaDeRC homepage, YouTube account, you just go to DIaDeRC YouTube, type DIaDeRC, you get our channel, and then subscribe and view the previous recording. So last week was episode 3. We did a lot on that, covering the impact for publication and how that works, and how to other speakers come to join us from their own experience. So let's also check it out on YouTube. And today we have a big fish in the house who is serving a special economic advisor and also a professor here and there. So we'll hear more of him shortly. So having said that, I will just remind us of what I've said earlier. Our like 2023. So this May we did our third anniversary, and the YouTube gave us we have uh, a short clip on that on YouTube. Let's check it out as well. All these have been covered. So I'll just quickly for 7.0 we had a lot of more inclusivity with more female participants registering for it. And in terms of country covering, we have many persons coming afresh from different parts of the world, outside of Africa. The ones in blue, and it's been quite interesting. All this one, I've taken that in episode 1. And so, having said that, we quickly now go to the profile of our today's guest speaker. And I will say, I want to welcome us especially in the name of God the Father, and God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost. So thank you so much for joining us. We don't take your presence for granted. While I wait for our team members to give us the profile, we just also put on point that we have a number of upcoming events. One of them is the opportunity we have that after this program ends today, if you want to journey with us along the line, we highly admonish to join the ASMN Premium membership. Once you go to our website, you click join the network, you to take you there, you look at the various benefits. And one of them is that we have a batch, and there are other benefits to collaborate, to also enjoy more of that is we do, opportunities we have from our collaborators and for what we do. So we're essentially asking us, if you're not already joined, to subscribe to the ASMI Premium membership. So for certificates, a few persons have qualified for today, so we'll just call it up today towards the end of today's session. And one of these criterion is that one, you should have completed the episode exercises were given from episode 1 to 3. There's no fertility to this last day. And those are made requirements. That's one first requirement. Second one is you should subscribe to your member of Transmit Premium. So these are the two main criteria for certificate qualification. And a number of us are made today. We'll call them out today. Next one is that after now, those who will meet on the batch 5 membership, we will do the onboarding. We will see open the exercise. We'll see the exercise open till to the 1st of June. Those that can see join, and ahead of the onboarding prepared for 28th of June, which is like welcome us into the family of ASMN Premium and what to expect. The other activities, that is if you go to our website under event page, you see the time for this on the 20th of June by 6 p.m. Nigeria GMT +1, and activities are there. So going to be to welcome those who join us to the DIaDeRC family under the ASMN Premium membership. The YouTube link is still open, and it will still open till 21st. For those exercises, so can know those that can qualify for more certificate and join us for the membership, for the premium membership and for the onboarding. So these are other things we do. Have our journal. I think a lot was said last week on it. I also have our direct job portal, so let's check them out. And I also have a big program coming up in October. It's a collaboration between DIaDeRC and BEST. It's called BEST DIaDeRC National Conference. If you go to the website, I have a lot of persons confirmed as speakers, including the 2024 Nobel laureate. It's on the website. So you are highly welcome to be part of that. I think with that, I now go on to read the profile of our guest facilitator so that I can take the stage. Let me see one of our team members on online to help us read that quickly. Yeah, Madam Aminat, thank you so much. Can you help us read the profile? If you can see the screen, and so we can go. Aminat, are you there? Aminat, if not, who is available again?
Yes.
Yeah, go on. So help us read the
Good
profile of
evening,
this.
Prof.
Good evening, madam. Welcome. Over
Yes,
to
I'm
you.
here.
Yeah, help us read the profile is displayed
Oh,
right away.
thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm reading the citation of today's facilitator in person of Professor Kenneth Amaishi. Apologies for the pronunciation. He's a professor of sustainable finance and governance at the School of Transnational Governance and chair in sustainable business and public policy at the University of Edinburgh. He was a visiting professor at the London School of Economics, UK, and currently an honorary professor at the University of Cape Town Graduate School of Business in South Africa. He is a globally recognized authority on sustainable finance in emerging economies. His work sits at the intersection of markets, governance, and development, with a strong focus on Africa and the global south. His research has contributed to shaping the intellectual foundations of Africa capitalism and continues to influence debates on responsible capitalism and institutional reform. Beyond academia, Professor Kenneth serves as a special economic advisor to the governor of Imo State, and he is the first adjoint occupier of the Samuel Asabia First Bank of Nigerian Professional Chair of Business Ethics at the University of Lagos. He has worked extensively with the government, regulators, and multinational organizations, delivering executive education and policy advisory on sustainable finance, ethics, and leadership. With this, I welcome Professor Kenneth to our midst. Thank you.
Oh, so let's use our digital hands to welcome Prof. I met him first in Berlin some years ago, and since that time, he's been doing a lot. So, Prof, let's welcome him digitally club him. So, Prof, thank you so much. Good to see you again. Welcome. You're younger. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, and congratulations for all you have been doing. And thank you also for that nice citation. And you got my name right. I mean, most people call me Amechi, but you, Olayinka, you did very well. Thank you. So, Prof, how do we want to run this?
You can share your
I want
screen.
it to be as interactive as possible. I want to be sure that
Over to you. Have
at
the
the end
screen.
of the day,
Yeah.
we get the best out of this. So I don't want it to be overly scripted, right? I've been asked to talk about collaboration as career infrastructure. Building networks for impact and professional growth. So I thought to divide it into three phases. One is to think about academic career, because you can't build the infrastructure if you don't understand what it is. And this understanding can be personal, because people come into the academia for different reasons. Some are accidental academics. Some planned it upfront to be in academia. And then also where you are an academic matters, whether you're in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. So I guess as I'm speaking, some of us would know where they are and what brought them into academia, right? So, but feel free to ask questions, and let's make it as interactive as possible. So after that, I spent a lot of time on that, and the idea of the academic, because if you don't get it right, then the other bits around collaboration won't matter much. Collaboration is more like a tool to help us achieve what we want to do as academics. Then there'll be room for reflection. But I want to premise this on a personal reflection, right? So I want to see an academic as somebody who has chosen the intellectual life. But then the question is, what does this intellectual life mean in practice? So if you look at the way the higher education is today, it is a very, I'm assuming most of us are in universities or polytechnics or higher education, so to speak. So the space is contested, is challenged. But then we can also think of ourselves as, or we can explore who is challenging us, right? And then we, the scholars, are the challenge. So what is the challenge? So if I stay here on these three things for now, or even move it up a bit, okay, and ask yourselves, how do you see the higher education space today? And what in your opinion is the purpose of higher education? Does anyone want to come into this?
Yes, we can also use the comments, guys. We can also use the comments. Yeah.
So what is the purpose of higher education? So, and that's where we play. So what is the point? Why? What do you consider the purpose of higher education? If you can talk, that would be best, because we can have proper conversation. When I'm putting you on the spot, maybe that's not the way you normally do it. But I thought that dialoguing will help us learn from each other. I don't know everything, of course. But if there are 24 of us in the room, or 20 of us or thereabout, then my role here will be to pull
There's a
you.
hand up from Victor Akidi and from Promise and from Olayinka.
Okay, they can go ahead. Yeah, so you can
Okay.
help me ask them to.
Okay, Victor, over to you, and then afterwards, Promise, and then we're going. Thank you.
I'm here, sir. My name is Victor Akidi, a lecturer in River State University, and I'm here joined from Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria. The question you've just posed to us here, sir. Prof, first I greet you, and it's a privilege talking to you, sir.
My brother, it's not a privilege, yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm here to learn, but you've given me the privilege to express some confidence and courage to talk to you as a very big fish in the river of intellectuals. Yes, particularly without saying much. The challenges, of course, said the contested purpose of a higher education.
Yeah, if you can focus on the purpose, right? So what is the purpose of higher education?
Basically, as humans, born natural, trained from our families, moving to the point of higher education, particularly to prepare us to go into productive career in reproductive sector or service sector, and ensure to grow personally going forward using this knowledge acquired in career preparation and personal growth to impact society in terms of advancing society from less desirable conditions to more desirable conditions, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's note what you said, Victor. So you talked about training people for work, more like productivity, industry, but you also ended with impact on society. So let's bear that in mind. Okay, Promise. Promise, do you want to? Okay, great.
Yeah. Thank you so much, our lecturer, for the day. We really appreciate you, sir. So, talking on having in mind what Victor had already said and dwelling on that, I'll say that the general, the overarching goal of education being to find solutions to the problems around our society. There are numerous problems around us, and having education is for us to actually impact on these problems in our society. But I thought you also said we should talk about the challenges that surrounds us.
Yeah, the challenge here is the fact that the purpose of higher education is contested, right?
Yeah, yes.
So, and you and Victor have gone to a particular way of thinking about it, which is fair enough, So it's about producing people, or how higher education can help industry, productivity, and society, right? That's what you're
Yes,
saying.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Kehinde, please.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello.
So in my, yes, this is Olayinka
Okay.
from the University of South Africa.
Okay.
And my own idea of what higher education, the purpose of higher education is, number one, to build human capability for
Mhm.
increased productivity and competitiveness. It also helps in knowledge reproduction,
Mhm.
which gives us the opportunity for growth and survival and sustainability. I think that is
Okay.
my own
So
way
knowledge
of
reproduction.
capping
Knowledge reproduction,
what
right?
is the
Mhm.
purpose of higher education. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, great. So productivity and then reproduction of knowledge. Kehinde Bello, please.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Prof. Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening.
I would just simply say higher education, to me personally, just advanced exposure to knowledge and intellectual development. Thank you, sir.
Ah, okay. What does that mean, Kehinde? Or why do you say so?
Sir,
Yeah, so what do you say? What does that mean, and why do you say so?
and when we say higher education, education has levels. So when we are talking about higher education, I feel it's just advanced exposure to knowledge.
Yeah, I
I'll
got
say
what,
education is actually okay.
what's your background, Kehinde? Which discipline are you from? Kehinde, you're muted. But which discipline are you coming from?
Economics from NISA.
Ah, okay, Ibadan.
Yes,
Nice.
sir.
Economics. Okay, good. Promise, what's your background?
Sociology, sir. Medical sociology.
Medical sociology. Okay. And Victor,
Prof. Victor is economics.
economics. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Always have a running battle with economists, right? Prof will tell you. So, okay. And then Olayinka, what's your background? Olayinka, do you want to share your background with her?
He's an economist also, economist.
Okay, fine, fair enough. So
And
you can
finance.
see that the way you guys have defined it, and
Yes.
I will come to it in a minute. So let me also ask you the question now. The second question is, in your opinion, so there are two sides to it here. One is education for the industry, for work, world of work. And it was Kehinde that talked about knowledge for its own sake, in a way. Olayinka talked about knowledge production, but if you also think about knowledge production is contribution to the academic industry, so to speak. So, in your opinion, what do you think the stakeholders of higher education want? And the stakeholders here will include students in particular, and government, and even industry. So you have this bifurcation there, because it happens. The purpose of education, higher education, some people argue is about producing people for the world of work. If you look at here, policymakers these days, or even industry people, complain about our university. They always go, oh, we don't have people prepared for the world of work, right? Which means tends to suggest that the university education should be that. But there are also people who believe that the university education is to help um, develop us intellectually, irrespective of the market. So the purpose of education is not to serve the market, right? Because if it was to serve the market, then somebody needs to pay for it. Do you get the point? So in your opinion, what do you think students want? Let's even focus on students. Do you think students are interested in one or the other, or what do you think from your opinion?
Sir,
Yeah, Kende.
can Kehinde below speak? Yes, I think students will want higher quality teaching and learning experience.
Okay, what does that mean?
As in, students will want advanced learning experience, an advanced kind of teaching, advanced method of teaching. You
Okay,
know,
what do they want that thing for? So do students ask you questions about how their discipline can help them get work? Or do they just enjoy the intellectual nourishment, or both?
I think that will be in contribution to societal development.
Yeah. So, and now, so I'm setting this just to help you understand where I'm going to with my argument. The
Okay.
first one
Promise
is
hand
the
is
purpose
raised.
of education. Sorry?
Promise hand is raised. And then,
Okay, Promise, do you want to say something?
and then two, we also have others from the professionals that who are not in the academia, but also here. So it's only for both for academia and those in professionals that yeah, and on this call as well. They
Okay,
can
good, good.
talk.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Promise, do you go ahead then?
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity.
No
In my
worries.
own opinion, I will actually say that students want a practical experience. They want employment after school. So anything that will help them gain successful employment, not just getting employment without knowing the skills that are required. So they will need those skills, those practical skills that will help fetch them a comfortable employment when they graduate. That's the major goal of these students, to my own
Okay.
understanding. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So they incline towards the world of work, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we also like anyone from industry can also speak or shout out, because it's good to have everyone on board. So, but if you set up this argument the way we are going, then the question becomes, where does the scholar come in, the academic? I think a good number of us, if I'm not wrong, may not have this practical experience. Okay. Because we move from BSc, Masters, PhD, we start teaching, right? So if we don't have that experience, how can we give what we don't have? And because of the way our education system is, we have been produced in a particular way. Olayinka was talking about reproduction. Sometimes the reproduction happens within context. You reproduce what you already know. That's kind of reproducing, right? In that sense. So, but it's also an opportunity for us to step back and reflect. But this, again, one needs to be aware of the dangers of a single narrative. This is from my own perspective, but I'm trying to use it to encourage you to think about this. Um, before I joined the academia, or before I joined academia, I started my career as a management consultant in Nigeria. I worked for Ristra Consulting, and some of you may know it, and I also worked for Philips Consulting in Lagos. I started my master's, I did my master's in organizational psychology at UNI, University of Nigeria. And when I wanted to be in academia. I wanted to be honest. But I struggled with Nigerian universities, and the nearest I was, and then, of course, I needed a PhD, but I didn't have a PhD at the time. So I went into consulting. When I got into consulting, it was a very exciting experience. So my first degree, by the way, is philosophy. So I moved from philosophy to psychology. When I did psychology, I thought psychology was very practical. Psychology was dealing with everyday issues. Philosophy was great, but it was very abstract. I mean, But it was a good preparation, I would think. But when I got to consulting, it was even much more practical and impact oriented. But the first thing then, as a consultant, is you need to have the confidence to be in front of organizations, managers, business leaders who are paying for you to offer services to them. And because they're paying, the demands are high. They put pressure on you to deliver. And if you're not doing well, you can lose the business. So your organization also would like to be sure that you are up to speed before they put you in front. So those who have gone through consulting will tell you that it's a very pressurized job. But while doing that, I was still interested in publishing. So I converted my MSc thesis then to an article published in IFE Psychology. And I mean, I remember being very excited that I got my first publication. And moreover, too, my MSc dissertation won the Codesra Award. I don't know if you guys see, there is still that Codesra Award. Is it gone?
I think yeah, it's still, there was a change after some years. It's now under MRI, meaning making research.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
a member.
then I mean, my thesis won, it was $3,000. It was big money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I converted that article into a journal. But while doing the consulting job, the consultancy is very narrowly focused because it's about what pays at that point, what pays, right? So you can't just veer off and say you want to do a research on something that there is no market for, the immediacy. And that's the joy of academia, that you have the luxury to think, to reflect, to write about something that doesn't have a market yet. And that's why the public subsidize us to do what we do. So that's why they pay us, right? Whereas the academia, in consulting, you need ideas that are very close to the market. Okay. So, and I couldn't, because I was somebody who wanted a broad way of thinking. I didn't want to be constrained by market pressure. So when the opportunity came for me to travel abroad through the British Children's Scholarship, I took it. But I knew I wanted to be in academia in Europe. But I couldn't do it in Nigeria because, again, while I was doing the consulting, it was fun and we were paid well, right? Assuming I didn't want to go down the line of challenges because of the Nigeria university, because I know that sometimes the pay can be very constraining and the infrastructure to work might not be there. But again, it doesn't stop us from appreciating what the purpose of higher education is. And the tension there, which you guys have also alluded to, is the tension between what I may call what is called the contemplative knowledge and the performative knowledge. Okay. The contemplative knowledge, you see in a minute, is knowledge for its own sake. Right? So there's some people argue that the university should not be subversively subordinated to what authors have described as academic capitalism. So remember, some of us started with the university should produce knowledge for industry. That's what we qualify here as academic capitalism. And you're producing knowledge that has to be cashable in some way in knowledge competencies, right? So, and if you also hear people sometimes that want to go into professional disciplines like engineering or law or medicine or even accounting, they tend to follow their parents, even in suggesting, so do this course, it will help you do X, right? It will help you. It's thinking about that, the cashable nature of some professions. But the Enlightenment approach talks about education as a form of emancipation, a liberation of the human spirit. And if you look at the university project in Europe, where it started from, it was about this emancipation and enlightenment. I live in Scotland today. And Scotland championed that idea of enlightenment. People like David Hume and co. Right? So back in the days, Socrates, Aristotle, the university was more like a space for this kind of contemplative knowledge. But we are in a world today where we are being forced again to produce, performative knowledge. So the university is challenged to say, well, we need to produce people who can do things. So remember, the productive or this performative knowledge was once restricted to polytechnics. I don't know if that's still the case today. But in the UK, for example, the polytechnics were converted to universities. So it's not just about producing people for the market in that sense. But performative one is kind of based on that. So that's the tension I see, and we have already highlighted it too. But the point here is that the students who are our customers, in quote, they need both. They're not just for contemplative knowledge only or performative knowledge. They need both. And there is this way I like to see education as there are three heads involved. So you have the head, the contemplative or the intelligence bit. We train ourselves to be intelligent and knowledgeable. We have the hand. Okay, the hand talks about the application of that knowledge, the skills, the competences. But there's the H, the other H, which we don't often talk about, which is what I would call the heart, where we train the humanity in us. So having a very intelligent person who can act but doesn't have that sense of humanity defeats the purpose of education. Right? So, but education should be holistic. You train the hand, you train the head, you train the heart. Right? So, as academics, then we are caught in between these two issues. But then, if you look at the purpose of higher education, in some places, as economists, some of you will recommend that what is compulsory and what the state should pay for will be primary and secondary education, because that's where society gets the most money. If you want to do anything extra, higher education, you need to pay for it. So if we are producing people for industry, as has been argued, and that's the purpose of higher education, then the industry, the beneficiaries should pay for it. That's what economists will argue, right? Because you don't want society then to overspend on producing students for a specific sector. So if I want to go into an NGO or be a religious pastor, and I've gone through the university, it's of no value to society from that perspective of being productive in the labor sector. So he raises that question of who should pay for education as a social investment. But there is also a concern that as the university becomes inserted in society, its epistemologies change. Knowledge becomes performative in character and loses its power to enlighten. Okay, so that's the dumbing down, and sometimes you need to move away from it. So they present the university with some of these contradictions. On one hand, we are pulled by this. On the other hand, we are pulled by that. But we, the academics, are the people who now need to resolve these contradictions through what we do and what we teach and what we research and what we engage. I know, we're racing against that, but let me pause a bit. So this thing I've described, is it relatable? Do you see it in what you do? So, have I painted a picture that is unfamiliar? Or does anyone want to? Yeah. So do you recognize this picture I'm painting?
Thank you so much, Pro. I think you are hitting it hard. Thanks so much. I don't know why in Nigeria and around West Africa, there was arguments that went viral on social media. One of the
Yes, bro.
MJ, one of the banks that said that most graduates are no longer marketable than the trainees. And there was argument that nobody was born with skill. If you want skill, you train them to suit your purpose. They have the intelligence already, which like the potential. But if you want them to now deploy a particular skill or sector, you train them. That's why most, if you remember those days, most companies have their training school. So they have the potential, but if you want them to now be relevant to particular firm, what you are doing, you train it to that person. It's a common argument we see always, even in class. My student asks me, sir, with the age of AI, why should I even have a BS in economics, for example? Why do I need it? When AI can do it. I said, well, what makes you different that whatever there is need for optimization, whenever there is need for choice making, you come in to provide such decision based on that evidence, which AI may not be able to do. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's the common terrains. Thanks so much.
Okay, good. So, yeah, but you know, the intellectual life can also be very esoteric. But I mean, Prof, when you started, you welcomed us in the name of God the Son, God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? Something like that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's our answer.
So if you take it from a theistic I mean, the idea that you remember when this idea whole like intellectualism, knowledge is also seen, is not in the productive sense, but it's something good. Okay. And what is good? God is seen as the highest good or goodness or whatever, however. So the pursuit of intellectualism that becomes a quest for that idea that is good. So there's a quote from somebody in the 1930s. He said the intellectual is not self-begotten. He or she is the daughter or son of the idea. And they remember the truth here. Okay, the truth sets free. And it says the truth of the creative word. Remember, it says in the beginning was the word, and the word was God. You know, so something deep there. So when the thinker thinks rightly, he follows God step by step. He does not follow his own vain fancy. When he groups and struggles in the effort of research, he is Jacob's wrestling with the angel and the strong against God. So the point here is not I mean, it's not emphasizing Christianity or anything, but just to say that the intellectual work we do is not just about brain power. It's also about connection to a higher plane. You know, the research. You remember the eureka of what's the eureka moment where you said, "Aha!" A research is a search, okay, a form of discovery, and you uncover what we don't know. Okay, so in order to do that, you struggle with it. So research, and that's why some people say, "Oh, we are not publishing," or our papers are not accepted. You ask yourself, to what extent have you really engaged with that struggle? But it's not struggle for vain fancy, right? So, but just bear that in mind. And if you look at even the way universities in Europe are constructed, you can see that semblance of a church. So this is my university at Edinburgh. University of Edinburgh was established in 1530 something, so over 400 years ago. But when you come to typical European universities, you see that sense of the church and God, and it's not, even if you go through the, what do you call that thing, the convocation ceremonies, right? You can see it's more like a ritual, going through a ritual. We do in Nigeria, we wear the gown, but I don't know if we've spent time to reflect on the meanings of the regalia and the gowns we wear. Do you see my point, right? So, once you begin to look through those things, you can understand that the higher education is immersed in this kind of theistic intellectualism. And maybe that's sometimes something we need to draw attention to. So when we wear the gown and they're not for the fun of it, those things have meaning. When the priests wear whatever the Catholic priests in particular, those things each of the items they put on are meaningful. I mean, each of them is meaningful in that sense. So, But I mean, based on my own personal experience, I won't bore you. I mean, I've moved around a bit. So some of the universities I've been to, even where I am at the moment, at the European University Institute, you see these tensions manifesting from time to time. The struggles with our teaching, the struggle with our research, the struggle to balance the contemplative and the productive. So, as academics, once we are aware of the demands of the intellectual life, it helps us also to adjust. And sometimes also, um, the intellectual life becomes problematic for us. How can the intellectual life coexist with the pursuit of materialism? Universities, I mean, we are teachers, we are professors. If I'm a professor, say at Unilag, I'm competing, I pay my house rent, I need the good car, how else can my salary is not enough to do some of these things? But you also find some academics that are very, very rich, okay, or even people who come into academia and they think they can make money through, being a teacher. Of course, you're paid, but they now try to projectize everything, commercialize everything that comes their way, even their handouts and everything, extorting from students, right? So there is always that tendency that in the process of trying to solve a problem, we become that problem, right? So, sometimes they call some psychiatrists take on the traits or attitudes of their clients, right? But at this point in time, we remind ourselves that we are in the world, but not of the world. Yeah, that's where that intellectual life becomes a true vocation, a true calling. But then if the calling is not there, you will see, there are some professors you see, I say, this is a good professor, right? I'm not saying every person should look shabby and poor, but recognizing that intellectual life also comes with some sense of asceticism, that's giving up, sacrifice for the sake of the intellectual life, but you do it happily. It's not forced on you. I tell myself if I come back again, reincarnate, still want to be an academic because I love it. And what I've done in my own space is to try to make peace with it. Um, yeah, so you always find that tension between intellectualism, materialism, and then how do you balance it? Is that I'm not saying perfect, I've got it, but I found a way to make peace with what I have. And you can't have enough. That's the other bit too. You can't have enough. Even if you're Dangote, you still want to acquire because they say the joy of having increases by having. So if you want to, there's this book called The Intellectual Life. And it says, do you want to do intellectual work? It said, begin by creating within you a zone of silence, a habit of recollection, a will to renunciation and detachment, okay, which puts you entirely at the disposal of the work. You acquire that state of soul unburdened by desire and self-will, which is the state of grace of the intellectual worker. Without that, you will do nothing, at least nothing worthwhile. So again, the work we do as academics should be meaningful to us and to those around us. And we find joy and peace in doing it. We're not doing it because it's a second choice. We're not doing it because we would have been something else. Sometimes you see people who become accidental academics. We can also ask ourselves whether we are in the right profession. Anyway, but let me quickly go to the idea of collaboration. Just in the last 5 minutes, I will stop. I see collaboration as the meeting of minds. So if I want to collaborate with Professor Evans, so it needs to be. We need to connect. We need to meet. We need to have a common purpose of why we want to collaborate to make it meaningful. But then collaboration for what? Okay. So it has to be, in my opinion, purposeful and meaningful. especially in the academic, if you also put it in the context of the intellectual life. And it's also not transactional. You see, we support each other. We create something. They say 1 + 1 becomes 3 instead of 2. So that's the kind of transformational approach that this kind of collaboration will bring. But some people go into collaboration being very transactional, and you see it. And those sort of collaboration, they don't last. Some people go into collaboration, they become very competitive there, right? I can tell you, maybe also because of how things are set up in or the reward system. In the UK or in the business school community, if you publish with others and you're not in the same university, you can count, the publications can be counted for you. Say, for example, 3 of us publish a paper and we're in 3 different universities. We can use the same paper equally in our different universities. Nobody cares whether you're second doctor, third doctor, or last doctor, right?
Not in Nigeria.
So in Nigeria,
No, not really. I think it depends on the school. It depends on the school as well.
Approach is correct to whether it's broad-based.
Yeah, it's Bob, but it's a contest. Well, we'll go. So I think I appreciate Q&A. So we'll talk more on that. Thank you, sir.
No. I
Okay,
mean, that's
thank you,
so
sir.
that's where also we need to rethink some of our
Yes,
metrics, right? So, but there's also the problem of free riding. People can acknowledge that. Somebody, you're writing a paper, somebody say, add my name, you add the person's name. Again, are you doing that person any favor beyond just gaming the system? Okay? So again, collaboration should be meaningful, transformational, and for purposeful work. Prof, I mean, most of the papers I've written, I've only written 1 or 2 papers alone. I tend to work with others. I've collaborated with lawyers, I collaborate with accountants, and I find it even meaningful when you collaborate with people outside their space. It gives you different insights and different perspective. So, and if you're thinking about interdisciplinary work or multidisciplinary or even transdisciplinary work, collaboration matters. Well, where do you meet people? What you are doing here is a perfect space for collaboration. When you discuss, reach out to each other. As long as you're not transactional about it, as long as you're pursuing meaningful work. For us, like this, they help to bring people together. But you can also reach out to people. You can irrespective. I mean, one good thing with the digital world today is that you can find people's contact details and write them. The worst thing they can do, I mean, they say they don't reply you. That's the worst thing. I mean, what do you lose? Nothing. If you need to contact somebody, you like the person's work, but go to every collaboration with something. Don't go empty-handed. Just go in with something. What are we bringing to the table? So some people write me sometimes they want to collaborate. Okay, fine. Okay. Let's assume you have a draft or an abstract, something that can start a conversation. It helps. Some established academics like to mentor, like to work with others. But if you go to them with ideas, it makes more sense than just expecting them to do the heavy lifting. They may not have the time because it's not, you know. So what I'm saying in essence is that we also need to be, how will I say it? You need to be more
intentional.
intentional. Yes, that's the word. Yeah. So strategic sounds very manipulative or something like that. I have to be intentional about it. So that is it about collaboration. And I like this African proverb. It says, if you want to travel fast, travel alone. But if you want to travel far, travel with others. That's the way I see this collaboration infrastructure as something that enables us to travel far. If you want to do the fast one, fast guy, the collaboration will work for you. It may just, and if you look at collaboration as repeated game, you guys in economics, talk about if it's a repeated game, if you cheat me once, you can't cheat me twice, right? So you bear that in mind, and keep going. So this is my story and experience. But the other thing I think Prof wanted me to reflect on was, but briefly though, if you have questions, we can talk about that. I advise the government of Imo State. When I took the job in 2022, some of my friends reached out to me. They were very concerned, right? In a good way. They were very concerned. So, Kenneth, what are you doing with these politicians? Be careful, that blah, blah, blah. And Imo State of all places, what are you going to do there? Wow. And I asked myself, okay, very good. And then somebody even afterwards came to me and said, oh, Kenneth, you're doing some interesting thing, but you're working for the wrong guy. That's what the person told me. I said, well, but Mr. Nice Person never contacted me to do this one. So when I saw that opportunity, it's the first time I'm going into support a government at the subnational level. I'm from Imo State. We complain about how things are not going well and so on and so forth. So when he came calling, they saw my work. They saw I was appointed at the university in Europe, and he reached out, saying, "Yeah, come and help your state." I said, "Okay, I will consider it, but I gave them a condition that I can only do it on pro bono, and I didn't want to leave my academic job again as a way to hedge against risk. What if I let my job and anything happen?" And one thing I've learned that sometimes if you don't have that bargaining power, you you, you become anything they want you to do, right? So when they say jump, you say how high. But staying back, doing my academic work and doing the job pro bono, the government doesn't pay me. But that's a choice. But some people may look at it and say, well, you're stupid, you're working with government, don't do anything free for government, they are stealing the money, blah, blah, blah. You remember the point I made about the academic life or the intellectual life and materialism. And ask yourself, my wants, I can control what I want. If I want to fly a private jet today, then my appetite for money will grow to meet that demand. But if I don't want to, if I love my bicycle or my car, then once I have it, I'm fine. Even some people told me that now you're not collecting your salary. Somebody in the system is taking that money. I said, why is it my problem? It's not my problem. That's what you understand. With the person writing against my name. So that's it. And if you have the opportunity to serve your state or be involved, don't be afraid. They can't do anything. And sometimes people use fear to scare us away. Oh, politics. What would they do? I've been there now for 4 years. Has the governor asked me to do what I don't want to do? Will he put my hand to sign something I don't want to sign? Will he force me to? No, he won't. And there is that mutual respect. He knows what I'm doing, and when he needs me, he lets me know. And again, I'm the chief economic advisor, but I don't make it a priority that I must do everything about the economy. The governor, you're just an advisor. If the governor chooses to invite somebody else, the commissioner for finance or even a consultant to do what you think is about the economy, is his prerogative. You don't need to bother. You are just an advisor. If he needs your advice, he will call you. If you've gone for another person, sometimes people go in there, they start, and what do they call it, protecting their turf. The economy is everywhere. If I wanted to, and if care is not taken as the chief economic advisor, you can step on toes. I mean, I have the commissioner for finance, to manage, for example, commissioner for industry, commissioner for even works. Uh, some people in the environment, things that may not even education. Some people come and say, well, there is a link between education and the economy. Of course, there is a link between insecurity and the economy. Of course, there is a link between politics and the economy. And people sometimes want to drag into some of these things. I say, well, I have my boundaries. I don't discuss politics with the governor, for example. I don't discuss insecurity with the governor. And it helps me because once you start discussing things that are outside your space, then you make yourself also very, how will I put it? In economics, you talk about scarcity, right? So you need to be strategic in what you do. Take what you. And in my own case, I said, as a chief economic advisor, I can occupy that post and do nothing. But I chose to do something about unemployment and informality. And we created this program we call One Kindred, One Business Initiative. So even if I leave government today, or the governor does no longer want my service, at least I'm living with something, which is the One Kindred, One Business Initiative. And the beauty of it is that it didn't just come up. It's also informed by my scholarship on Afro-capitalism and the role of business in Africa, developing Africa. So it helped me to think. Initially, I started working with big companies, CSR, corporate social responsibility. But I noticed also that the small businesses, the micro businesses, the grassroots businesses are not supported. And it gave rise to this way of thinking. And now we are taking this experience from working with government, bringing it back to the classroom and publishing out of it. So we have a special issue of a journal now on Afro-capitalism. And I'm writing a book on grassroots Afro-capitalism based on my experience working in Imo State. If I didn't do that, if I had allowed that opportunity to slip, probably I wouldn't have had the chance to do the things I'm doing now. So again, it's a collaboration of a different sort, but not between academics, but between politicians and academics, right? So let me pause there and give way to your own comments. Prof, thanks for the invitation.
Oh, well, wow. I think you have taken it so deeply into us. And please, guys, let's appreciate Prof. Like I told you, my first time I met him was I think it was in 2023 in Berlin on this how Europe and Africa can move forward together.
Yes,
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 I
yes,
remember you
yes.
mentioned Okobi.
And I
I
was
know,
talking about COVID there, right?
yeah, Okobi actually means literally meaning in Igbo is a big heart, lion heart. And
Yes,
then one kindred, one business. And then what you did that I appreciate is that you had this the IMO economies platform.
yes, that platform.
Bring all economies that you think have like minds, whether they are IMO or not, and there's a regular update on that platform. So that's
Yeah,
one thing I also appreciate, which is also part of collaboration, bringing people together and people make complaint, and in some days there's feedback that such issue have been resolved. You kind of
yeah,
bringing the
yeah.
governance to the people. So that's one area I really appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. I also learned that if I'm called now by I'm from data state, actually data state. If I call my government to come and serve, why not? Let's contribute our own part.
Yes, yes,
I
yes,
think
yes.
that's a lot. And to even this platform, this ASMN series is actually one platform we're bringing back. I had time to stay in Germany, but I said I'm much more in Africa, so we created this platform whereby we can help Africans to. You can really be. I think I like what you said just now that make peace with yourself intellectually. So you can. It's not about flying private jet, but you are at peace with yourself. That what you do, you are impacting lives. That's what one of the key things we do in DIaDeRC and ASMN. And over the 3 years now, the testimonies are amazing. So I enjoyed more than $1 million cash. When somebody say, "Prof, thanks so much. This knowledge," and
Mm,
so that is what it's about your value system. So let me not talk too much. We have
yeah.
heard from the oracle. So let's now.
Yes, I've been to speak to the point you made about the emo one, the platform, that WhatsApp group,
Yes, sir.
When I assumed that role, I was convinced that one, I've been outside the country for a long time. So the best way was to come close to my colleagues, academic colleagues in Imo State. And I started reaching out to professors of economics, and I was shocked, my brother, that when I wanted to bring them in, I saw that reluctance. They didn't want to, okay? And I don't blame them because some of them will say, well, don't work with government before. I mean, they come, they take ideas, they run away, and, funny, funny things, right? I said, okay. But again, I also expected them to know more of the Imo economy than myself. That's fine. But guess what? I mean, economists, we are busy studying African economics, macro. We're looking at cross-country issues at Nigeria level. But very few of them understand the local economy, the Imo State economy, the economy of Owerri. They don't have that knowledge of it. I mean, for us, other economies here, you can also think about where you are. If you're in Port Harcourt, for example, do you understand the economy of Rivers State? Do you understand the economy of Port Harcourt? Do you have people who spend time understanding the local economy, where they do, where they are? That could be one way to. So, and the platform now has about 600 and something people. So when I noticed that the academics were not forthcoming, I started bringing other people, the people in industry, people in anyone I think is interested in Imo State or wants to hear anything about Imo State, especially the Imo economy. I said, come there. That's how that thing grew up to 630 people there now. And then the other thing I did, given also my interest in industry, I created something I call corporate Imo impact partners. So I brought companies in my network, and I didn't ask, it wasn't like a formal agreement with the companies, but I was showing those companies what was happening in Imo State. And some of them eventually started using Okobina, for example, as their CSR. So we have funding from First Bank, we have received funding from Coca-Cola, we have received from Access Bank, and as we speak, UNDP is also supporting us on other things. So sometimes you tell people, show people what you're doing, and allow them to see the value and how they can collaborate. It wasn't imposed on them. It wasn't an agreement of any sort, but they saw what we are doing and thought it would be good for them to use it to extend their own activities. So I think that's another form of collaboration too, right?
Yeah, that's what we call the town and GAN, industry academic partnership. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you so much. I think let's open the space now. Though I know we're talking, let's have some space for Q&A. If you have something burning in your heart, you want to speak, please raise your hand and we can take it. We have some of them as comments. Somebody has already commented on YouTube. They say, honestly, the current education system at higher level is graduating brains, but not whole people. Graduates look intelligent, but without character. That is Fred, all the way from Uganda.
Hmm.
So that's the other one. So let's keep it coming. If you have a question to ask, please let's raise our hand and we can take it from there. I know Bumi, you know what they call local economy. Oluwa Bumi Samuel is doing something around using Yoruba language to communicate personal financial management, and she did a lot of that. She has this money wise platform. Bumi, you want to share that on your thought on that? I know since
Olubunmi, thank you so much.
thank you.
Olubunmi, thank you so much, sir. Good
Yeah.
evening. Pastor, I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak. I'm deeply inspired by the conversation. I'm actually at that point where I'm asking myself, how do I want to proceed? So I've been contemplating doing a PhD, but it's been really difficult to decide on what to study. Again, because of this conversation around transformational and transactional um, um, leanings with respect to a higher education degree. And so this session has given me a lot to think about. Unfortunately, I didn't come in at the beginning. I'm going to have to listen again. But yes, there's that working at the grassroots level, teaching entrepreneurship and personal finance in Yoruba language. Um, that you can see a lot of opportunity. You can see you can see that there are potentials, but because of the commercial value that isn't as evident, I would say, then there's that pull. Should one continue at this level? Should one attempt to move to policy level, for example? Would it necessarily be more rewarding? Would it bring more attention to the people that you're interacting with? But then again, what's the impact of being away for 4 or 5 years to acquire a PhD degree? And of course, it's not something that will be done here in Nigeria. So how can you ensure, for example, that the allure of studying outside of Nigeria doesn't become so much that you don't return to the people for whom you proceeded on that degree? So there are all those thoughts going through my mind as I listened to this particular conversation. Like I said, I'm going to have to listen again to know what happened at the beginning and just fit everything together. But thank you for the opportunity to share what I do today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, there's one other comment from Bonto Chisanga, audio from Zambia. He said, I'm very appreciative of what the prof has just mentioned about how important it is to know the economy of where you are. I have asked myself countless times if I am up to date with my country's economy, policies, and its status, and what can and should be done moving forward, especially around minerals and their management thereof. That's a Bondo. She actually did a PhD now in the copper mining, copper value chain in Zambia. I happen to be one of our supervisors with another professor in Zambia. So, Bondo, thank you so much for that idea. So let's keep them coming. While we are keeping our comment, let's put on our camera. Let's take a screenshot of this participant. If you are able to on your camera, please do so. Let's see your face, and then for media, in case they ask me, I want to be a good leader, so that they won't ask, probably forget. Romanus, your camera is upside down. I hope it's not AI that's doing this for you. Okay, so Lainka, thanks so much. Can we get more cameras? Yeah, thanks so much, Ngozi. Thanks so much, Matthew. Thank you. As many as we can turn our video, let's do. Thank you so much. Going. Thanks so much, Bondo Chizak, for those from Zambia. Thank you so much. I'll take page 1 and I'll take page 2. Okay, this is page 2, and then we are good to go. So we are seeing the Q&A session before we go to other things for today. All right, so we still have some comments. So if you have to raise your hand, please, we'll acknowledge you, and then we'll take you. Promise, thanks so much for the initial comments. We have some few minutes for Q&A.
I think Olayinka wants to come in.
Okay, Olayinka, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Prof. It's been really insightful and then thought-provoking. And I actually asked myself, how much do I know of my state? Is really a call for action going forward. So, and I also want to ask, based on your diverse background, your experience, industry, academia, how have you been able to narrow down to a specific research interest or specific discipline? Because it's been a bit challenging for me because I've been in the industry for a decade plus, coming to academics, trying to pull all of those resources to now become an expert in an area, despite being a development economist. I would like to hear from you how you have been able to manage those things over time. Thank you.
You see, I mean, he asked a very good question. Very, very good question. The bit around focus. You see, academics academia gives you freedom. But at the same time, that freedom can become a problem. Right? Like I said earlier, I moved away from consulting because consulting was too narrow and very much on what makes money immediately. The beauty of our academic careers is that if today I want to research on ants, I can do it. My university won't stop me. They'll still pay my salary. If I want to go into researching, I was speaking to a colleague earlier today. He's a professor of religion. And he told me he's now researching on how religion informs and shapes food options. People buy food. I say, really? That's what you're doing? And he's all over Asia, traveling, collecting data on that. So if tomorrow he wants to focus on religion and engineering, he can as well do so. So that's a bit of it. But then that is the problem. We are drawn into different directions at each point in time. And now we're talking about collaboration. Somebody can come to you with an interesting paper in say, development finance or an area that is not too close to what you do, or even in development economics. Even if you come into development economics, there are different subjects or thematic areas. But one thing I've done earlier on in my career is to have a career mission statement. Okay. Career mission statement. The same way companies have visions and mission statement. You can also sit down and say, what sort of, how do I say, what do I want to achieve in academia? What sort of contribution do I want to make? And then allow that to inform and shape the decisions you make on daily basis, on yearly basis, right? So anything that doesn't fit into that my mission statement, I move away from it, because you also need laser focus to be impactful. It's if you use a laser, what do they call magnifying lens, it doesn't burn until it's very, very focused. That's when it burns. Paper, for example. So you need something that focuses your energy, your passion, your interest, so you can make impact. Otherwise, we spread ourselves too thin. There are people who they have like 50, 100 papers, but they're not known for anything. And if you are going to say become a professor, that's why the panel will be looking at and say, what professorship in what? Because you have to be known for something. You have to concentrate. So it's a choice you need to make, asking yourself, what is my passion? What are my interests? What are my strengths? And what will make you happy? If you bring all these things together, you'll be able to identify anything that is not within. You have to be clinical about it. Yeah, that's where also the discipline comes. Then the other thing is, what you are interested in may not pay today, may not be valuable today. But if you are genuinely passionate and committed to it, don't lose hope. Because when that thing becomes useful and valuable, you might be at the forefront of it, and you might be even the very few people who are researching that area. I'll give you an instance. When I started working on corporate social responsibility in Nigeria, as I told you, I moved from consulting to academia. Most of my colleagues were into strategy, and strategy makes money. If you're a strategy consultant, companies will come after you. So when I wanted to go into do the PhD or my higher education, further studies, my colleagues were concerned that, but why not strategy? Those sexy things at that point in time. I have a background in philosophy. Okay. I have a background in psychology. I pivoted on the interest in ethics, creating organizational ethics. And I moved to corporate social responsibility. And I wrote one of the few first papers on corporate social responsibility in Nigeria in 2006. I grew with the field. Today, I'm the president of the Sustainability Professional Institute of Nigeria. So there's no way you can talk about CSI in Nigeria or sustainability, corporate sustainability, that I will not be there. But it wasn't like that 20 years ago. But again, it was the vision I have for myself to create systems that align business and societal interests. So at each point in time, my work focuses on business and society interface. Even the OCOBI thing we are doing is about business and society. Corporate social responsibility is business and society. Sustainability is business and society. Afro-capitalism is business and society. So that mission statement and vision statement, I encourage you, if you haven't developed yours, just be patient, be disciplined, because many things will be coming your way. Prof, maybe one day we can spend time and go through that process rigorously. People can leave this conversation with their mission statement, at least a draft of it. Okay, so that because they keep refining. I refine mine maybe once every 5 years or 10 years, but there are things that have remained consistent, and I'm happy to bring my mission statement and share with you guys, what it was in year 2000, what it was in 2005, and where it is today. You understand? You can see, and you see things that have remained constant, because as much as we think our interests vary that much, if over time you will know there are certain things you're interested in and things you're not interested in. So, I mean, it's a long way of answering a short question, Olahinka. I hope I've been helpful.
Thank you so much, Prof. It's I got some valuable points from your comments, and actually that is why I am a crossroad. And then I think it's also boils down to survival too. You will need to push for survival while trying to maintain stability. But because we see so many calls for fellowship, calls for this, calls for that in different areas, and you try to fit in your work into it. And it fits because it's a very diverse field. But at the same time, I get overwhelmed at times to say, where exactly do I want to stand going forward? And that was why I asked the question. And it's been very helpful. Your comments have been very, very helpful. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you
Sometimes
so much.
sometimes money and intellectual life don't go hand in hand. Okay, sometimes. But if you're able to convert your intellectual life to commercial value for yourself, that would be fantastic. But most of the time, we don't get there. So, and some people can just follow the money. But if you follow the money, know that that's what you're doing at that point in time, and go wrong with it. Then, if you want to follow the academic, the kind of intellectual thing, follow it. And also know that you can forfeit the money, but then you can't eat your cake and have it. That's where some people, then on one hand, you're doing this, on the other hand, you're feeling guilty that you're not pulling. But if you eventually find a way to convert that your passion into something meaningful, I'll give you I've been in Europe for a long time. I've done my best to do research that fits into Europe. Each time I struggle because I'm not interested. They have more than enough people to help them solve their problems. But each time I do a paper that solves Africa's problem, the joy I get from it is more than the million they'll pay me in Europe. But that's the choice I've made. I tried, but I didn't work. I follow my passion. I follow my interest. I use European resources to solve Africa's problems. That's why some people say, why are you not in Nigeria? I can't be in Nigeria, but my research is on Africa. So Nigeria may not give me the resources I need, but Europe gives me the resources, and they're not asking me questions why I'm using the resources to solve Africa's problem. So are we not doing the same thing? You understand?
That's
Sorry,
a
somebody was asking
collaboration.
about the research institute. I don't know, research institutes, I've not worked for one before, but if I'm going into a research institute, actually someone is reaching out to me at the moment. I don't know what to do with them. But I'll be looking for something that is not too narrow to a fault. Something that still allows me the breadth. I can't sacrifice my freedom at this point in time. Academic freedom is not something I'm willing to trade off. So that's my concern with that one. And then look at also the job, what the guarantee security, right? And be sure it's not something that it's on the contract and you do it, and if they don't like your face, they find a way to let you go. So that's my take on that one. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's bringing a lot to chew. There's one comment I want to read now, and also like to add one or two voice. And this is from Kennedy Bello. Say, Prof, what is your advice for a scholar moving from academics into a public organization, research institute? Where should be my focus, sir?
Yeah, that's the one I'm trying to address. I
Oh,
saw
great, thanks so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's that one.
define what you want. Yes. Yeah, thanks so much. You talk about understanding your local economy. I think Victor still around? Victor is a member of Nigerian Economic Society, which I also remember since 2023. And one of the things that we did in the last session, in the last 2 years, is to encourage what we call the state chapters. So in other words, economists from a given state work with your we work with your government to understand how you can solve the economic problem. And I want to tell you that there's some states that are doing a lot with their government, and we are seeing changes both in what they do and also with the government. State like River State, state like Ogun State, state like Lagos State, a number of states are actually making progress. And that's
Cross Rivers.
State. It's also bringing economists even to the grassroots, and not only focus on national economy.
It's been nice to see what we can learn from them and see how you don't have any of those people in Imo State.
They should
or
have
from
Victor.
Imo?
Victor is the secretary of the society. I think Victor can take
Yeah,
up.
we have people in Imo State.
Yeah, but some
We
still are
cannot.
vibrant, some are actually not. But I
Okay, so
think
what are they doing? I mean, if you are doing this in Lagos or Gun, and so
yeah.
what is the how are they?
Yeah, for example, they work with when it's time for budget work, they work with Ministry of Economic Planning and Budgeting in their state. To I mean, to even the budgeting process one, and then two, they also host symposium with the government of the state. So to ensure that this there's a handshake between the government and the people closer than not just because the
No, no, I
focus.
understand. What I'm saying that you said there are some of them in Imo State. Where are they? My question is, I mean, I haven't
Okay,
seen them.
we can talk about that. We can pass. I think Victor should have the details of that. We have
And
the
Victor, you can put me in touch with them and let's understand why they are not doing the things you're doing in
yeah, they have
Rivers.
a platform. Each have a platform for that, and we can.
Yeah,
So
Prof,
let's not make
Prof,
let's not
if you
let's not
permit
economize this
me,
discussion.
sir.
Let's move further. Yes, Victor. Yeah, we can take from now. Let's not the other non-economics
So,
here.
Prof, you will link me to Victor now, or you can
Yes,
give
yes, yes.
Victor my
Okay,
contact
fine.
so
That,
we
that's
can
that's
take it
what I
up.
want to get
Yes.
the link and
And we all share the
get
WhatsApp group right
these
away.
persons to
Victor is
get
the secretary
connected.
general of the society, and he's doing.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Another Q&A. We otherwise YouTube. Thank you so much. Another one from Chido Go also say session very informative. What actually is academic freedom? Is there any limit to this freedom? Because somebody say freedom without limit is actually bondage. Prof, say what academic freedom? Is there anything? Is there any limit to
I mean,
academic freedom?
academic freedom is one of those things you recognize when you see them, right? So sometimes also the absence of something makes you understand it. So
Hmm,
I would say in academia, we are allowed to at least publish whatever we are interested in, the contribution to knowledge in a scientific way, in an ethical way. And the freedom I mean here also is the freedom to choose what I want to research without necessarily feeling the pressure of the market.
yeah.
So unlike when I was in consulting, I couldn't do any research I wanted to do because my managers would ask me, how would this make money for the company? You're using the time of the company to
Yeah.
do XYZ research, and we don't see the benefit coming to us directly. The university doesn't ask you that question. And that's the freedom I mean.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think just to mention that over the past years, I've been trying to do an impact evaluation on this program. As mean, I think Chinwe will be a witness, but I think I don't. We already have the data from this is the seventh edition, but from the third edition, we still have having the data well streamlined. I want to do an impact evaluation to see how has it, in terms of academic progression, in terms of policy engagement, and that's for me. I'm a professor already, so I'm not. Nothing is pushing me. I'm not under duress, so I can have my time. And I want to announce that within this week we got such support for Humboldt to work on that in the next few months. So actually, we're going to see how I can bring out whether a book or a paper on the economics of mentorship. But that is a great summary. The economics of mentorship. It's not what the typical economists will do, but it's like this mentorship program. How can we know the economics of it? Which we bring this our framework into that so that we can have something that we can pass on to the next generation. That mentorship is very important, but we need to understand the economics of mentorships. That's what I will work on in the next 1 year or so. And thanks for the support we just got. And Chinwe, who is our media technical advisor and AI advisor, will work with us on that project. So academic friends are choosing what you want to do without somebody saying this is what you must do. So you can choose your research topic and your research question and go ahead and do it. That is okay. And now we are entering in. There's no other burning question. Let's take some testimonial.
So I've left my WhatsApp number there in case any person wants to reach out. So,
It,
and if you also want to join the emo platform, I will be happy to share that one. But
it,
thank
I'm
you for
alive.
inviting me, Prof. So I've done my work, right?
More than enough, but see, we see. Well, let me just take some testimonial from this one. This is the last day, so we did testimonial of those who shared their own with us. How has the program impacted them? So it's simple. We just put it in the video and play, and then we take final announcement, and we are good to go. So I want to play that right away. Let me share. Let me share. I use my screen already? Not yet. Let me share. Okay. Can we see my screen, please? Please, can we see my
Yeah,
screen?
very clearly, sir.
Okay, what are you seeing?
Deborah again or something like that. Is that part? Festus Onipede, Nigeria.
Okay. Thank you so much. So these are the ones that shared with us before Friday. And if we miss you, please, yours, please pardon us. Wow. Okay, I think that is all. And like I said, in case you miss yours, please pardon us, is from those that did the exercises 1, 2, 3 that we harvested to have the testimonial. So if you miss yours, please pardon me and the media. And so just to took us to collate again and again. So we just take a few of them and then we move to the next point, which is so take a few of those that would for the certificate, and then we take few announcements, and then we are good to go. But I see burning question, please let's not keep it concentrate again, and then. Okay, I think we can stop here for this one. Thank you so much. Like I said, in case we miss yours, it's not international, it's the one that we're able to use. Okay, next one will now, before I call on those that, well, the ones that have meet the certificates, just to mention again the criteria we use for the certificate, so that we are on the same page. Okay. And somebody, okay, I think there's another question saying, is there a question coming? We say, Prof, I have done the 3 exercises, but I have not filled the mentorship form yet. Am I entitled to certificates? Send me the link for mentorship. Yeah, we'll send the link severally by email and by our WhatsApp page. Thank you, Matthew. But let me just run through so that we don't have so many questions while we are doing that. By the way, let's again appreciate Prof for today, who brought marriage between the academia, the politics system, there's a marriage between the academia, the industry, the politics, all of that together. Just to add to for certificates, just to for call on those that met the requirements. Okay, this is the criteria we outlined, and that's what we'll be doing since ASMN 3.0. Yes, so there are 2 key criteria for certificate qualification. One is that we've said that since on the onset, there are 3 exercises for this series, episode 1 from episode 1 to 3. So each episode 1 to 3 have exercises. They are still open. We have shared the link on our WhatsApp page and also on our WhatsApp group and also on our by emails. And then to being a member of our SPIN Premium membership. The exercises will still be open till on the 21st of June. So we can now close and collate in preparation for the onboard. Onboard is like the welcome party we do to our new members joining us. So meanwhile, like the Prof said, collaboration. This is one way that we create a platform to collaborate, and you can regarding how to join if you go to our website, just click join the network. It will give you the details there. And if also in our WhatsApp group, check the previous message I've shared. You will see there. Even also by email, and the email will send every week. You get it there. So on that, I want to quickly call our team member as we read the certificate of those that meet it. But like I said, anyone that can jump on between the 21st of June, it will still be open, do exercises, and then join the permanent membership, and you have qualification for the certificate. On that note, I want to quickly run through those who, as we run them through, please let's appreciate them by clapping for them. As I call on team member to quickly run through. So as I read their names, please clap and.
Good evening, everyone. The first on the list here is Deborah Agene. Deborah Agene.
Let's clap.
You can clap. Deborah Agene. Ada Grace. Ida Grace.
Okay, let's clap.
Fred Wafana. Olubumi Samuel Adeyemi.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations.
Mark Osa Akron
from Ghana. Thanks. Congratulations. Olarinle
Abiola Adebumi.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Temitope Olalude.
Congratulations. And last, nobody released on this.
Olajumoke Enyobamo.
Thank you so much. So these are the ones that met requirements, and otherwise we keep it open between now and 21st of June for as many that can hop in. I will be glad to welcome you on board. Yes. The platforms we have, we'll see, we open as many 7.0, and the email group is also there. Also, we share information one from time to time. Okay, we have a few minutes to go. If you have any question, that's someone that's answer, please. You can raise your hand if it's burning your heart. Otherwise, put the comments both here on first, I mean the 21st of June, because the onboarding is 28. So maybe we can onboarding, we have to profile. Let me just run through again. We have to profile everybody before the onboarding. So if you go to our website, let me just run through. If you go to our website, if I click, let me share my screen. I'll take you to there. If I take you to, this is my screen. Okay, so if you can see this. If I click this now, you take you to our website, this link. If I just go to control and click, take us to our website. Or just go to our website. Let me just, so is, if you go to our website, it's just DIaDeRC.org, and let me, can you see my screen, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so when you click
Yes,
join the
Prof.
network,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, you click join the network, so it will just take you through. So join the network, we just go to our website, click join the network to break you onto the SME Premier page, and there are a lot of benefits it gives you. So for collaboration, we do that a lot, and we listed all of the opportunities. We have different cluster groups and feature profiles. There are a lot of things you can go through, and the criteria are there. It's quite what again we do again. So everything we do is automated. So you just click the link, and you can use any card from anywhere in the world to get it. Welcome. And so for this, yeah, if you for first batch was onboarded June 2024, second batch was onboarded afterward, third batch was onboarded last year, June. So this is the fourth batch was onboarded December. Then this other batch we are preparing now, batch 5, be onboarded by on the 21st of on the 28th of June. If you go to our event, it will take you to the one we do the onboarding. So this is the last for the series for today. It's ending today. So this is the onboarding. Onboarding is like a welcome. So not only for the batch 5 that will join us, also create it as a interaction forum for those of us in other batches. So batch 1, 2, 3, 4. So like a homecoming event for. So all of this, yeah, it's on the 28th of June by 6 p.m. So it will start early, 1 hour earlier, and the link will be shared for our simple members. So anyone that want to join, we open everything till 21st. So I have one week to do the onboarding. How will be onboarding? When you go to here, you see drop down. Here you see those in batch 4. We put there. One way is to also help us as African scholars to give you mileage to you write on our shoulders. So we put your see those on we put their profile there. So it's also one way to give African scholars right on our shoulder, we'll provide them. This is another benefit that they have as being a member of ASMN Premier. I'll put their link. So it's about visibility and all of that. If you also click here, you see batch 2, you see batch 3. So all the drop down. So when batch 5 is onboarded, you batch 5 will also come here as batch 5. So that's what we do by the onboarding. It's also help collaboration that we have taught today, also help people to collaborate and also enjoy research. The research, one of the things we are doing that is that research can be fun and it can be rewarding. That's why we have our motto as honing knowledge for transforming lives. So all of that we will take on the 28th of June for the onboarding, but the call will still be open till 21st for the to subscribe and also to complete the exercises. Okay, I will leave now for, I think there are some persons are still putting comments so I can take comments. We have a few minutes to go. Thank you so much. Yeah, the recording, yes, everything from episode 1, 2, 3 is on YouTube. Okay, and if we go to YouTube page, just click, just type DIaDeRC on YouTube. It will give you our channel. So we encourage you to go through all of that. Like Bumi has said, we don't expect you to go through everything today. So we go through again episode 1, 2, 3. And today's one is already on YouTube, similar for YouTube. So you can go again and again over it and you'll be blessed. Yeah, thanks so much. Victor Akidi. Okay, your hand is raised. Okay, please go ahead and make it quick. Thanks so much.
Yes. My prof, sorry, I just had to raise my hand to get cleared on this.
Okay.
I took all the 3 exercises, have my results. To be part of the premium membership of ASMN, I think what is left for me, I just need to understand. What is left for me is to register with the ASMN membership, right?
ASMN Premium, yes. Premium membership, yes.
Premium membership, okay.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's what's left for me to have my certificate and start my collaboration journey and learning journey.
Yes, sir. I think, yeah.
Right?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. We have up to 21st of this month,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, 21st of March, of June, yeah, 21st.
Of June. Okay.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem. Thank you, sir.
I think somebody is making similar comment. Yeah, Ndidiamaka, I think I'll say, let your name speak for you. So please, you say I've done my surgery, I didn't see my certificate. So we'll look at about like Peter has mentioned. So that's the first order criteria. Second order is to join the ASMN membership. But if you are joined, we'll check whether you are joined. Otherwise, SRS is one criteria. Second one is premium membership. So, is that clear for you, Madam Ndidiamaka Berry? Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, Ngozi said I registered with as many membership and I did SS1 to 3. I think if it was not called, we will check. They will check. My team members will check. This is just a to call. They want to check it to be sent. Once it's ready to be sent to you by email, but we're gonna check. Okay. Thanks so much, Ngozi. Okay, another question. We have about 7-8 minutes to go. I think let me stop recording. This is so I can talk personally. So I'll stop the live stream.